On Thursday, July 27th at Watchetaker Hall, Native Summer Learning Camp held a student banquet to close out the camp. Caddo Nation Child Care Director Lauren French said the camp idea came around COVID when she said many people needed summer care.
And our child care facilities were in a need, and we just didn't have spaces. Our families really didn't have space. And we ourselves, child care programs, didn't have additional spaces for our influx of summer attendance. So it was, what could we do to meet the need of our families in several different locations? And then we wanted a unique way to provide that experience.
She and Carolyn Codapony, the child care director at Comanche Nation, wanted children to engage with culture and language.
We started having a lot of conversations about if we could piece together a summer camp that had Native inclusion, but we were still meeting the needs of our families and the children's, where they were kind of lacking in-person opportunities to learn about like core subjects in school.
French said there were several modules for students to become involved with, including art and mental health.
So this year we operated a 5 traveling module camp. So it was to meet the needs for STEM, art, literature, culture and language, and healthy lifestyles with a huge Native focus in the interactions that the children were experiencing.
She said planning for this year's camp began in December 2022. COVID restrictions were later lifted in May 2023. This was the first time family could be involved.
We had missed the opportunity of family inclusion the first 2 years. And outside of kind of having small conversations with family members, of telling them kind of what your child was doing and how they were experiencing and interacting with the 5 core areas, we've never got to showcase or have a presentation that kind of commemorates like what their children have been learning over the summer, or the kind of information they've engaged in.
French said parents also wanted to be involved with the students' learning. Booths were set up to give demonstrations on various modules. She said 130 campers were a part of the 5-tribe camp, including Comanche Nation, Caddo Nation, Delaware Nation, Kiowa Tribe, and Apache Tribe, held locations from Bangor, Oklahoma to Lawton, Oklahoma. French said some of her highlights included being entirely natively funded, having an all-native staff, and giving access to information for students.
They are getting to experience things that their families might not be able to economically make happen for them at home. So it is something that the kids really get to they get to enjoy going to different places and seeing different things.
She said having multiple tribal sponsorships for the camp meant better relationships.
If we're utilizing our funds correctly, look at what can happen when we can sit at a table and we can put our federal dollars together, and then we can build programming that is outside of this world, and we're still servicing the areas, we are still servicing our children, and we are still servicing our members.
Reporting for the Comanche Nation PIO News, Natasha Mercadante.